Everyone has gaps in their gaming history, whether it's a game you've never heard of or one you just never got around to. Listen, even if you're a prolific gamer, I bet you haven't played something like Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. Wait, you have? Okay, well my point still stands. Sometimes there's just franchises that fly under your radar. For us, that's Sniper Elite. It's a series of games that we both knew existed, but never really paid any attention to. But with Sniper Elite 5 making waves this year, we knew it was finally time to see what this crazy bullet camera was all about. So we're not here to see if Sniper Elite 5 is a good sniper game. That seems obvious. We're here as the co-op bros to see if Sniper Elite 5 is a great co-op game for you and your best friends.
I think I got a sneaky guy over here.
Oh, here we go, bro!
Dang! That's a long shot.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Assassin's Creed kill!
Yeah! Oh god.
Oh, he screamed, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, you probably killed him. Oh, nice,
oh,
my guy.
baby.
There's more coming. Here's a guy right here.
Should we fire?
Yeah,
oh, bomb him.
Fire.
Okay, I got him. Swing.
Nice, let's go, dude. That was a shot.
That was a shot.
Throughout our playthrough, we were constantly impressed at how smoothly Sniper Elite 5 plays in co-op. Shared progressions and connectivity were essentially a non-issue for us. Essentially, one player is going to start the mission, invite their friend, you'll both get to pick your loadout, your abilities, your sniper you choose, your pistol, yada yada. That friend is going to have full playing power within the mission, which is great. The only difference is there's some random NPC looking jabroni, and the host is none other than Carl Fairburn, Sniper Extraordinaire. Each player shares mission progress and unlocks their individual upgrades within or at the end of missions. One really neat feature we enjoyed was the ability for the host to save at any point and reload that said point if something goes wrong in the mission, or you just need to take a break and come back to it later. Both players can come back to that save point and pick up right where they left off. It was great. There's also a 4-player PvE wave-based mode that we just never got to, but it's nice to know it's there if you have some extra friends. Overall, this is a surprisingly accessible online co-op title.
Pretty high.
If you want to try. I'll get the guy on the bottom and get the guy on top. Nice, nice. That was good, dude. That was good.
Don't climb big ladders. It's dangerous.
All clear, dude.
All clear. Oh my god. Too much fun.
Sniper Elite 5 is a relatively simple game. As Andrew mentioned, you play as Carl Fairburn, aka The Shadow. Meanwhile, the second player just plays as Harry.
He's on us, so he's killed us.
Oh, if it isn't my favorite guy, Johnny.
Hey. The name's Harry.
Oh, okay. Sure thing, Johnny.
Together, you kill Nazis and you slip out undetected, and yeah, that's pretty much the gist. Depending on what you're looking for, you may see that as a positive or a negative, but we'll dive into that later. For now, let's break down the gameplay loop. You'll typically start a mission on the outskirts of the main location. This gives you and your partner time to pull out the binocs and mark as many goons as you can. From there, you have the option to head for the main objective on your map or tackle a side objective or two, some of which you discover the more you explore. Thematically, the side objectives are actually kinda cool. You might be tasked with neutralizing the enemy's radio comms or assassinating a high-ranking officer. From a gameplay perspective though, they're rather simple. They usually boil down to executing everyone in a given space in order to activate something like cutting down the radio towers. The main objectives aren't too different from this, rather they'll usually have a series of tasks in order to complete. So let's review. You'll mark targets, complete objectives, and lastly, you'll extract. This is just regrouping at a specific point on the map to end the mission. If you've killed everyone up to this point, that's gonna be pretty easy. Otherwise, you'll have to continue to sneak out. So there's 10 missions in total in the game, which could take anywhere from 9 to 12 hours to beat. After a mission, you'll gain XP that you can use to unlock skills across 3 different skill trees. You can also customize your weapon with a modding system. Thing is, in order to unlock weapon mods, you need to find specific workbenches strewn about each level. That last part was a bit of a bummer for us, but we'll dive into that in a bit. For now, let's hear all about the good co-op features in play, bro.
Oh! It gets me every time, bro. I love it.
You love to see it.
Sniper Elite 5 is one of those games that was most likely designed from the ground up as a single-player game, but was wisely given a co-op mode that fits surprisingly well. We've all had those games that you think, I'd love to just be able to play this with a friend, and we're thankful the team here pushed forward with that notion. And sometimes it actually feels like they did design it for co-op, so who knows. There were plenty of opportunities for us to count down for that perfect double kill, and boy were those satisfying. Does anybody else feel like there's a montage coming on?
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Boom, with that headshot.
And let's go. Oh, there we go.
Nice. Hey.
Okay, 1 sec. I'm not ready for the right yet.
I don't think he saw me.
Got the right.
Nice, that's good.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Nice. Let's get this guy on the left here.
Should we fire?
Yeah,
Oh,
fire,
bomb,
fire,
damn.
fire, fire.
Okay, I got him. Clean. Okay, give me a second. Ooh. I'm almost.
Got him.
Nice.
He didn't even hear it because of the freaking bomb, dude.
Oh, shit.
I got him.
I got him.
Yes, I got him. And fire.
Let's go,
dude.
That was hot.
That whole sequence was hot stuff.
Hot stuff, dude.
Outside of those Tarantino-esque brain explosions, we had some fun just messing with the sandbox mechanics that the game presents you. Luring NPCs to their doom with a well-timed bottle or whistle for your friend to take out is way too satisfying, even if it's pretty simplistic, and it's only enhanced when you actually do take them out with the bottle with a perfect doink to the head.
Fire.
Nice.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, dude. Sometimes you gotta throw a bottle on people's head.
And having a buddy by your side doesn't just make the game more fun, but easier to get through. We often would be marking targets and calling out locations for each other, or using the game's eagle vision to see through walls to prevent a total meltdown. But you can't always prevent the inevitable, and again, having your war vet bro there to unleash mass carnage is just a good time. Overall, that's kind of our thesis for Sniper Elite 5 as a co-op game. It's just good old-fashioned PS3, PS4 era fun, which is to say, it could use a little bit of refinement as well.
As we've mentioned time and time again, the first player plays as Carl Fairburn. Oh, alright, that's enough. It didn't really bother us as the second player's character isn't really as important, rather the lack of meaningful options to differentiate ourselves became very apparent. There are all these different weapons and mods to unlock, but like I alluded to earlier, you need to find specific workbenches in each level in order to do so. And these workbenches, honestly, they're pretty hard to find. You really have to go out of your way to find them, and we thought this was a big flaw with the game. It makes no sense to withhold all these options from the player when it could really help to differentiate your toolkit in co-op. With the limited arsenal we did have, there was a clear best choice among the pistols and snipers, so we rarely tried anything new. The game also never gives you much of an excuse to try something like, say, a night vision scope or anything more unique. So we both typically ran the most silent rifle option and the only pistol that came with a suppressor. That leaves gadgets and skill trees as ways to make our characters our own, right? Yeah, not really. There's 3 skill trees in the game: combat, equipment, and body. There's a couple good skills like being able to revive yourself or expanding your focus range, but overall, we were never truly excited to use a skill point. To put it this way, I think you could play the whole game without using a single skill point, and I'd honestly don't think you'd miss out on much or be at a significant disadvantage. I initially focused on the equipment tree because I thought I'd be the gadgets guy, but ultimately that was disappointing too. We often tried to do something cool, like when we tried blowing up a set of cars by placing mines on the road. That didn't entirely work out for us and ultimately showed us that the gadgets, they're more like simple tools where we were trying to use them to pull off some crazy stunts. Depending on what you're looking for, this could all sound like minor nitpicks, and I tend to agree with you. It's unfortunate these mechanics don't reach the potential we thought they would, but at its core, the co-op here still works, even if we're a little mixed on the whole package overall.
Hey, with the cutscene.
Oh, baby. That's hot.
Love to see it, dude.
At the end of the day, you can't watch us giggle like middle schoolers over pulling off a double headshot kill and say we didn't have some fun playing Sniper Elite 5. This game is fun to play with your friends, simple as that. But we were constantly being nagged at what the game wasn't doing. Gabe mentioned this clip of us thinking outside the box and trying to set mines along a car's path, and it just didn't work out. I think that moment, which was the first mission by the way, really set the tone for the rest of the game. It told us that there is an interesting sandbox here, but it's missing the opportunity to be great. I don't like to just play the name game and compare it to a stellar title like Metal Gear Solid 5, but I'm gonna compare it to Metal Gear Solid 5. In that game, you're given this crazy kit of tools to mess around with, and you can seriously just waste hours trolling on these NPCs. Thank you, Video Game Donkey, for the great example as always. Sniper Elite feels like it's a few mechanics away from being just that. Not an interesting or good sandbox, but a great and memorable one like the Phantom Pain had. Or take this moment where we poisoned a general and got the kill in a really unique and cool way. I don't have the footage leading up to it, but it was a side mission kinda off the beaten path in a house where we found some poison downstairs, went upstairs, found a cup outside his room, put the poison in, knocked on the door, went outside on the balcony, and the rest is history. We love this Hitman 3 feeling moment, and we're impressed that it showed up halfway through our playthrough, but at the same time, why did it only show up once and halfway through the playthrough? The lack of ambitions in your toolset or upgrades holds you back from this, and it makes the whole formula feel a little monotonous towards the end of the game, even if that whole double sniping thing never got old. I do want to recognize that for a lot of you listening to this who may be fans of the series, you're probably more than satisfied with it just being a sniping simulator, and might be annoyed that we're doing a little bit of wish fulfillment by saying it should be more like Metal Gear Solid 5 or more like Hitman 3. But there's just an oomph that Sniper Elite 5 is missing, that special sauce, that last ingredient. And so for now, it's a good fun time, but not going to blow your brains out. Unless you're a Nazi, it definitely did there.
Oh,
Good for peeking.
dude. Ew, brain shot, bro.
Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, that was gross.
In an age where every game is trying to be a live service game or some crazy metaverse idea that will ultimately crash and burn, it's honestly refreshing to have a game like Sniper Elite 5 stick to its guns. This is definitely the Top Gun Maverick of the gaming world, and for some, that's gonna be more than enough. If you do have a Game Pass subscription, we'd say this is at least worth checking out with a friend. For us, we had a good time with the game, but ultimately hope the next one can keep what works while ushering this franchise into a new era.
Thanks as always for watching, guys. We of course appreciate that, and we'd appreciate if you took the time to like or subscribe to the channel if we've added some value to your day. We're streaming No More Heroes on Monday and Dying Light 2 on Wednesdays for now. We've kept up a really intense output of videos for a while here, and you know that this isn't our full-time gig, we've mentioned that before, so if we ever hit a lull, just keep in mind that it's only because we're working on some really cool stuff. Catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.
Frick.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
Nice.
Oh, that pass. Oh, I don't want to see that. Oh.
Oh my god, that was the worst.
That was too much. That was too much.
Wait, enemy heading to